Hello, all. Sadly, not recording this live because I am busy, but I have found time to do today's Jersey Evening Post cryptic crossword. Today is Friday, the 18th of October 2024. It was a nice one. Cracked on with it pretty well. Then, as always, ground to a halt with sort of 3 clues to go. So went off and did other things. Sorry about the weird lighting in here. I'm trying. I can't. I've got limited options where I am. I can't turn that light off behind me without having the light here off as well. It's very strange. So apologies for all that. It's all very amateurish. But hey ho. Let's crack on, do the crossword. So where did I start? I think I probably started with 8 across. Moved slowly and lost blood after the morning. So I thought it was going to start AM and then it was going to be lost blood, which is bled. AM for morning and bled for lost blood, meaning ambled, moved slowly. So I was quite pleased with that. Good start. I thought, here we go. 10 across, followed with an appendage, question mark. And I thought a tail is probably an appendage, so it must be tailed. Then I probably had a crack at 1 down, I would think. Possibly charged for a supply of electricity. I think I'd looked at that clue and it hadn't meant anything, but then when I saw the letters, I saw that it was battery, which can be charged if it's a rechargeable one. 2 down. Shorten a card game. We've had bridge and pontoon and things a few times recently, and this is a bridge, a card game, meaning shorten. 3 down. Breakfast dish in parts, say. So say tells you that this is a double definition, but that the words are spelt differently. They sound the same, but they're spelt differently. And so the answer is cereal. In parts, it would be serial, like a television serial, or serial, like a television serial. But this is a breakfast cereal, so it's cereal. I never know quite how you were meant to know which one it is. I knew which one it was because I'd got the E. If I'd had an I there, I'd known it was serial. And then 12 across, get a rule, out for control. This crossword setter uses out a lot to indicate an anagram. And so it's an anagram of get a rule, and it means control. And I think you can see from the letters that are there that it's going to be regulate. Let's have a look at 13 down. Enlivened with Diamante creation. Well, the word creation there hints strongly at an anagram for diamante or diamante, however you say that word. And diamante is an anagram of animated, meaning enlivened. Let's have a look at 18 across. One may get tired of it. That is a cryptic definition. And I didn't get it until I'd got a few more letters in there. But it's insomnia, which is quite a nice clue. One may indeed get tired of insomnia. Let's have a little look. Where should we go next? Let's do 14 and 15 down. 14 down, sign the first letter. So again, this is a little double definition. It's a word that means to sign something, and it's also the first letter of something. It's the initial. So you initial something, and initial is the first letter. 15 down, possibly pertain to an artist. That means it's going to be an anagram of pertain. Possibly is indicating an anagram of pertain, meaning an artist, and an anagram of pertain is painter. 21 across. I was pleased with this. Novel measure of weight from the famous scientist. Every time since I've started doing this crossword, the word weight has been mentioned. They've actually been referencing mass, and mass and weight are not the same thing. In this case, novel measure of weight from the famous scientist is Newton. Although although the clue, novel is new, measure of weight is ton. It's not. Measure of mass is ton, and the famous scientist is Newton. And then the Newton is the unit of weight. So they haven't quite got it right. It should be novel measure of mass from the famous scientist. And then people are going, ooh, his unit is weight, not mass. But that makes the clue work. Anyway, let's not be silly about it. Heaven forbid. 19 down. Musical works from Pesaro. Again, from often indicates an anagram, and Pesaro is an anagram of operas. So that's what I'm putting in there. 23 across. A bottle for the artist in the eating place. And I thought the eating place might be a cafe. And then RA often means an artist because Royal Academy of Art, RA. And then a carafe, of course, is a kind of bottle that you might get water served in which you might get water served. 5 down. I had various options for 5 down, and it was funny. It was one of those ones where I didn't write it in, and then I was struggling with clues around it. And then I just wrote it in gently, and suddenly I was able to finish a whole section. So I felt that without equal, commonly, was peerless. Peerless means without equal. And peers are members of the British aristocracy, so commonly, if it was more common, there'd be fewer peers. They would be peerless. And then that opened up possibilities for 4 across, work in the theatre. I'd written down surgery, and I was confident that it was something. I thought, I'm going to be very clever. It's not the theatre where you do acting. It's the theatre, an operating theatre. And of course, the answer is it's operate. But I was determined it was surgery, and that rather held me back. 9 across. I'll come back to that one. 11 across. A smaller amount concerning the class. I thought a smaller amount was lesser concerning the class, and concerning often is re. So it did take me a little while, and I thought, it's less with re the wrong way around, and then of course I realised that the class is the lesson. I don't really like the idea that a class is a lesson, but I guess it is common parlance, and so we've got less, smaller amount concerning on or about the class lesson. 6 down is negligent concerning a girl, and again concerning, so I knew it was re, and then I just had lass in my head, relass, but of course it's not lass, it's miss, and then you're remiss, you're negligent. 7 down, continue to nurse a sinew. It's nice, it's a nice clue. Continue to nurse is to tend, is to nurse, and if you carry on tending, you tend on, and a tendon is perhaps a sinew. 9 across, pouring out of a meeting. I don't like the inclusion of the indefinite article a. I think it should be pouring out of meeting, because it is of meeting. It is an anagram of meeting, meaning pouring out. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think that A makes the clue less clear. Maybe that's the point, but I think you should use I always like clues that use as few words as possible in order to get the idea across. But fine, it was the last one I got when I twigged that it's an anagram of meeting, and teeming is all you've got. And of course, teeming with rain, pouring with rain. And I think it'd just be out of meeting rather than out of a meeting. But anyway, that's just me. Silly old moo that I am. What have we got along here? Let's do 24 across. Take the chair before 11. Oh yes, I was pleased with this. I thought before was pre, and then I had a feeling that the word take the chair was preside. You chair a meeting, you preside over a meeting. But I thought, why is side 11? And of course there's 11 people, players in, let's say, a cricket team or a football team, and you could refer to the side or the 11. This is my 11, this is my side. So it's before the side, before 11, pre-side. I hope that makes sense. It made sense to me and I was ever so pleased. Aircraft on the way back to Venus and Mars. Well, I thought aircraft was plane, and I think Venus and Mars are planets. And I worried about why it was on the way back. But of course, a way is a street, and shorthand in crossword terms for street is ST, and in this case it's ST backwards, so it's TS, plane, street backwards, TS, planets. We'll come back to that one because that was I said that was the last one I got. That was the penultimate one I got. Let's get 16 down. Oh, well, this was a bit too easy. Raglen about being a fisherman. To rag means to tease, which is irrelevant, except that it is a real word. It doesn't really look like one. Raglen about being a fisherman. It's rag and len about, so it's an anagram of rag and len. It's angler. I talked about that for a long time, even though that is a very, very basic clue. Checks the number of foreign noblemen. Initially, checks the number, couldn't think of what checks the number was, but then I went through my list of foreign noblemen, and I immediately came up with counts. So foreign in the sense of not British. Okay, count is not a... Countess is a British title. Countess is married to an earl, but a count is a European title. So fair enough. I mean, we're in the UK, but I always think it's a little bit foreign. European might be a better word than foreign, because then it would work if you were in Europe. Anyway, ramble. Grass in the class. I realised that grass meant to tell on. And if you're in the class, you are in the form. And if you inform on someone, you grass on them. So there we go, 12:47. Quicker than I actually did it, of course, as is always the case. It took me, I guess I spent a total of about 40 minutes on it. It'd be interesting to see who else might have taken 40 minutes. When we have a little look at the leaderboard, as we always do. Who's up there? Stephen up at the top as always, and D. S. Venue. Haven't seen S. Venue for a while. SBL, Catherine, Baz, Jill, Bazaar. Now, that is about how long it took me. I feel a lot of kindred with Bazaar. And maybe one day I will be brave and actually do this crossword live and really take as long as it takes. And sit here scratching my head and going over clues for as long as it takes to sit and scratch my head and go over clues. And then the very excellent Trish, just under 2 hours. I'm sure busy getting on with other things and then coming back to the web page from time to time. Anyway, that was a fun one. Got one to do tomorrow, which is Saturday the 19th, then a day off on Sunday, then back to business on Monday. I'm staying in a hotel in Manchester, and the reception are very kindly printing it out for me so that I can have it tucked inside my notes and look at it whilst I'm attending talks and lectures and things of that sort. All very sneaky. It's like being back at school. What fun. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.